Welcome, everyone, on this crisp winter's morning. I'd like you to all grab a seat by the campfire. Don't forget your cup of joe, and let us embark on this journey with the third part of the Fir Tree. "'Tis now winter out of doors," thought the tree. "The earth is hard and covered with snow. Men cannot plant me now, and therefore I have been put up here under the shelter till the springtime comes. How thoughtful that is! How kind man is! After all, if it only were not so dark here, and so terribly lonely. Not even a hare. And out in the woods it was so pleasant, when the snow was on the ground and the hares leaped by. Yes, even when he jumped over me. But I did not like it then. It is really terribly lonely here." "Squawk, squawk," said a little mouse, at the same moment peeping out of his hole. And then another little one came. They snuffed about the fir tree and rustled among the branches. "It is dreadfully cold," said the mouse, "but for that it would be delightful here, old fir, wouldn't it?" "I am by no means old," said the fir tree. "There are many and one considerably older than I am." "Where do you come from?" asked the mice, "and what can you do?" They were so extremely curious. "Tell us about the most beautiful spot on earth. Have you never been there? Were you never in the larder, where cheese lie on the shelves and hams hang from above, where one dances about on tallow candles, that place where one enters lean and comes out again fat and portly?" "I know no such place," said the tree, "but I know the wood, where the sun shines and where the little birds sing." And then he told all about his youth, and the little mice had never heard the like before, and they listened and said, "Well, to be sure, how much you have seen, how happy you must have been." "Aye," said the fir tree, thinking over what he had himself related. "Yes, in reality those were happy times." And then he told about Christmas Eve, and when he was decked out with cakes and candles. "Oh," said the little mice, "how fortunate you have been, you old fir tree." "I am by no means old," said he. "I came from the wood this winter. I am in my prime, and am only rather short for my age." "What delightful stories, you know," said the mice. And the next night they came with 4 other little mice, who were to hear what the tree recounted. And the more he related, the more he remembered himself, and it appeared as if those times had really been happier times. But they may still come. They may still come. Humpty Dumpty fell down the stairs, and yet he got a princess. And he thought at that moment of a nice little birch tree growing out in the woods, to the fir that would be a real charming princess. "Who is Humpty Dumpty?" asked the mice. So then the fir tree told the whole fairy tale, for he could remember every single word of it. And the little mice jumped for joy up to the very top of the tree. Next night 2 more mice came, and on Sunday 2 rats even. But they said the stories were not interesting, which vexed the little mice, and they too now began to think them not so very amusing either. "Do you know only one story?" asked the rats. "Only that one," answered the tree. "I heard it on my happiest evening, but I did not then know how happy I was." "It is very stupid story. Don't you know one about bacon and tallow candles? Can't you tell any larder stories?" "No," said the tree. "Then goodbye," said the rats, and they went home. At last the little mice stayed away also, and the tree sighed. After all, it was very pleasant when the sleek little mice sat around me and listened to what I told them. Now that, too, is over. But I will take good care to enjoy myself when I am brought out again. Though when was that to be? Why, One morning there came a quantity of people and set to work in the loft. The trunks were moved, the tree was pulled out and thrown, rather hard, it is true, down on the floor. But a man drew him towards the stairs, where the daylight shone. Now a merry life will begin again, thought the tree. He felt the fresh air, the first sunbeam, and now he was out in the courtyard. All passed so quickly. There was so much going on around him. The tree quite forgot to look to himself. The court adjourned a garden, and all was in flower. The roses hung so fresh and odorous over the balustrade. The lindens were in blossom. The swallows flew by and said, "Que vite, my husband is come." But it was not the fir tree that they meant. "Now then, I should really enjoy life," said he exultingly, and spread out his branches. But, alas, they were all withered and yellow. It was in a corner that he lay, among weeds and nettles. The golden star of tinsel was still on the top of the tree and glittered in the sunshine. In the courtyard, some of the merry children were playing who had danced at Christmas around the fir tree, and were so glad at the sight of him. One of the youngest ran and tore off the golden star. "Only look what is still on the ugly old Christmas tree," said he, trampling on the branches so that they all cracked beneath his feet. And the tree beheld all beauty of the flowers and the freshness in the garden. He beheld himself and wished he had remained in his dark corner in the loft. He thought of his first youth in the wood, of the merry Christmas Eve, and of the little mice who had listened with so much pleasure to the stories of Humpty Dumpty. "'Tis over, 'tis past," said the poor tree. "Had I put rejoiced when I had reason to do so, but now 'tis past, 'tis past." And the gardener's boy chopped the tree into small pieces. There was a whole heap lying there. The wood flamed up splendidly under the large brewing copper, and it sighed so deeply. Each sigh was like a shot. The boys played about in the court, and the youngest wore the gold star on his breast, which the tree had on the happiest evening of his life. However, that was over now. The tree is gone. The story at an end. All was over. Every tale must end at last. And that will be the end of this adventure. Thank you all for joining us around the campfire, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next installment of Chad's Campfire Tales.